After 100 years of monsters, it's become the norm to train at hunter academies if you want to become a professional monster hunter. And that's just what hardworking orphan Seojun Kim dreams of. But after a freak accident dashes his hopes, ads for the mysterious Transcendent Academy pop up on his phone, offering him a chance to train virtually with history's most legendary warriors. As he levels up, he's soon caught up in the world of hunter academies, dungeon raids, and competitive tournaments. But the more he learns, the more question he has about the people surrounding him, his past, and the secret of the Transcendent Academy. And with this, I welcome you to my first impression for the webtoon called Enrolling in the Transcendent Academy. At the point of writing this, there are 8 chapters available, but we will only take a look at episodes 0 to 3 in today's video. First of all, let's take a look at the picture that is being used to advertise this story. This is our main character, Seojun Kim. It's a Korean story, and it actually seems pretty like an average art style for the webtoons that we see nowadays. If we compare it to some manga, it's still pretty high quality, but for webtoons, this has pretty much become the norm. So let's look at the actual story. For the first time in a while, I can say that the summary was long enough to give me an actual idea of everything that can and most likely will happen in this story. Let's first discuss the key points. Our protagonist is called Seojun Kim, and he is aspiring to become a hunter. So for all of you solo leveling fans, maybe this webtoon will scratch the itch that you all have been left with now that the story is over. Unlike Sun Jin-woo, this protagonist is an orphan, but his family does appear to hold some importance in the plot, because he now also in the summary has said that there is some sort of mystery surrounding his own past. If they are actually dead or just left their son, that is unclear, but that already leaves us some room for theories for the future. Having academies to train the hunters is a neat idea. It seems like the society is more stable. If that is the case, because dungeons and monsters are weaker compared to other stories with similar premises, or that all the hunters just have a higher strength level, is for us to find out in the future. But one thing is for sure. The author already mentioned so many potential plot points that the story can go in that I am not sure if it can really work out. At this point, I'm not even sure if the Transcendent Academy is a normal school people can go to, or if it will be a system of the main character specifically. But to be honest, the point that caught my interest the most is the mention of competitive tournaments. Fighting against monsters is always cool, but putting interhuman conflicts on top of that will only make it better. As an athlete myself, I just enjoy stories where characters train and participate in sports-like competitions. However, what also needs to be said is, while all these plot points are cool and interesting by themselves, it almost feels like the author just kept on adding keywords and tags to optimize it for some sort of search engine. Call me negative, but it almost seems too much. But I will be happy to be proven wrong, because I like the summary of this story. But now, without further ado, let us read the first 4 episodes and see how it goes. As always, I put the link to the series in the description down below. If you want to check it out together with me, you can read it now, but you can also listen to my mostly spoiler-free first impression of Transcendent Academy. Is this actually even an action story? From the chapters I read so far, it is quite hard to say. Or more like I'm still in the prologue after chapter 0 to 3. Don't get me wrong, it was enjoyable to read, but the main focus being comedy has surprised me a lot. However, I am certain that things will change rather quickly, especially because chapter 3 ended on quite the dangerous cliffhanger. In my opinion, the main character is decent enough at the moment. There is not necessarily a lot special about him, but that can also be a positive factor when looking at all these chosen one protagonists. Well, the most unique thing is probably the Transcendent Academy that also appears in the title of the story. Here we already learn that there is a huge difference between hunters and transcendents. I am waiting for further explanations to form better guesses around these two factions, because as of right now, it doesn't seem like there will be a conflict between them, but I can't say that for sure. Oh, and our protagonist apparently is not the only person in the story who will be a transcendent, which already starts the guessing game of who will join the ranks of the Transcendent fighters in the future. The entire academy system is probably my favorite thing about this webtoon. Unlike other Dungeon Hunter stories, we are starting at the actual ground zero. Seojun and every other person trying to become a hunter first have to go through a hard series of tests, and to get prepared for those, academies were founded. But obviously it costs money to enroll. Only when he was 27 years old, our protagonist had earned enough money for the tuition of an academy. Depending on the reputation of the academy and also the success of the alumni, these establishments cost either a lot or even more than a lot. While that is true for every normal academy, the Transcendent Academy appears more like a system compared to a physical place to learn. Because Hunter basics are not really taught there, it's more transcendent stuff. The teachers at the academy are literally out of this world, and their assignments are quite taxing on both the mind and the body. But the results are quite promising. After all these preparations, we can already bet that Seojun will ace all the hunter tests and probably break a lot of records. One important thing I am hoping for is slow growth. While I know he will become one of the strongest, if not the strongest in the story, I want him to take his time on that journey. As the hunter exam is still about a year away, he will just continue to grow, and if a new hunter is already on the same level as, for example, some S-rank hunters, I don't really like that. I think that's not really a good thing if characters grow that fast. The next couple of chapters will determine a lot for the future of this webtoon. Maybe I should read more than 3 chapters for these kind of videos. But overall, I can say this about the webtoon Enrolling in the Transcendent Academy. It is a story with a lot of potential. It has already shown its comedic abilities, and with its above average art quality, one can only hope that the battle choreographies will be high level as well. So far, the only important character that has shown enough of themselves to be judged is the main character himself, and he is pretty good, like in the writing department. Other characters' introductions will be another do or die moment for this work, but I have some expectations, maybe even more so because of the similarities to solo leveling. If the 8 available chapters are not enough for you to form an opinion, there are other ways for you to take a look at a good chunk of additional chapters. I will remain with the weekly Webtoon episodes, and maybe in the future I can update you about the incredible adventures of the transcendent Seojun Kim. But that is everything from me for today. All that's left to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay transcendent. Pyro, out. Bye!